And you brought up the four losses to the two guys. Let's start with Sergio because Jesse, you're very familiar with. Man, Sergio, and they were two convincing wins on his side, I guess, or at least the one you got caught, the one he won by three takedowns, I think. Did he catch you off guard the first time? Did you know much about him at national duels, or what was your approach to that match, and maybe thoughts afterwards?
No, I knew that Sergio Vega was a stud, right? I think there was a lot of people online like, oh, he didn't, he looked past him. Even the coaches are like, were you looking past him? No, I've known all along that Sergio was a stud. Um, I think that anything I can say might come across as an excuse, right? I think there was a lot going on, home arena for him, and I just kind of had like almost like I would call it a concentration sink in a match to Jesse before we were throwing the match essentially, right? Like it was just the worst vibes you could ever have. But at the end of the day, he went and he beat me in a lot of my best positions, and that's something that I have to applaud Sergio for. Is it felt like I was wrestling a younger, more hungry version of myself, right? Um, and a taller version of myself, right? Like I feel like I'm usually a long, tall 141. He was much longer and taller. Um, but no, I mean, I wanted someone to post a meme about it because I wanted to share it, but I just didn't do it soon enough. There's like one of my favorite movies is Logan, and it's obviously Wolverine when he's old, and they like create like a clone of him who's younger, faster, and can heal better. And there's like a point in the movie where they like stare at each other, and he's like scared of him, and I'm like, that's kind of what it felt like. I went in, shot, and he hit the same stuff that I hit on people, and I'm like, dang, is this what it's like to wrestle me? And then he shot in on me, and I tried doing my stuff, and he did kind of what I do to my other people, and I'm like, that was maybe the form of surprise was more, you know, oh, this is what it's like to wrestle me. This guy's really good. And then when we wrestled in the duel and he pinned me, same thing, right? Like I've tried telling people, I that loss did not hurt because I got pinned. It got hurt because I wanted to wrestle more, didn't get the chance to. But I'm not gonna take it personally, as in, I've been wrestling really close matches and I've done the exact same thing that he did to me, right? Someone shoots in on your leg, or someone tries to scramble a little too long, their head gets close to their knee, and that's match. And so, it's total respect for him.
Sure. Is there, and clearly, I would assume there's some sort of emphasis, or there's a lot more thought and data on Jesse. But like, is Sergio now? I wouldn't say a focus, but something where there's at least some part of the day or the week where you're like thinking about a potential match and how to rearrange how things happened.
Yeah. I think once again, like I think every loss is so beneficial for everything that can happen in your wrestling, right? Like when I lost to Jesse, the the thought of the coaches and my own thought is that he is beating me in, he is entirely more focused than I am. But when I lost to Sergio, it was a much more like, hey, we got to get better in a lot of these positions. And so it's two completely different problems that I have to work on. It's been really good to have to focus on throughout the season. And then in terms of like thinking about him specifically, like I 141 has always been a weight class where, I mean, there is no guarantee of who I'm going to have at any time, right? I mean, I think I made a mistake last year a little bit, and luckily it benefited. But I was prepared for Andrew Alirez, and then I never wrestled him because he things happened and other guys stepped up. Really at 141 this year, of the top 6 ranked guys, you have 6 different problems. You have Jesse, who has an incredible pace. You have Sergio, who is a longer version of kind of what I do, which is kind of more lanky, more, kind of scrambly wrestling, very hard to take down. You have probably the strongest pound for pound dude in the world at Enchamendia. And then you have Stanek, who I have I feel like I have zero data on Stanek, and so it's just, and I could keep going on and on throughout the weight class, and so it has been a situation of how do we prepare for Sergio, how to prepare for Jesse, but at the end of the day, it's how do we make Brock Hardy the best Brock Hardy.
Sure. I guess similar with Jesse, but is this just been like, I guess, when thinking about Jesse Mendes and how do we are there positions we need to get better on? You said I just think he's more focused, but I don't know if I know exactly what that means. But like when you look at an approach to what do I need to adjust? Is it a focus? Is it positions? Is it you both wrestle hard?
Yeah, no, I mean, so I think how I wrestled him at national duels was really good. How we wrestled in the duel, and I obviously there's positions I can do better at. He came out like a shot out of a cannon, and I didn't match his intensity, right? And it's really easy to be like, look back and be like, hey man, had I just wrestled harder? Like in a way, like he came out and he had a pace that I wasn't ready for, and that I didn't match. And when you don't match it, good things start to happen for him and bad things happen for me, right? And next thing you know, I'm down 10-1 at the end of the first period, right? And that was,
Yeah.
I go back and I watch and I go, the very first takedown, he had, kind of this front head position, and I went, okay, the position's kind of stale. I'm content with being here. And he didn't. He just kept going,
He
right?
wasn't.
And then, yeah, he wasn't content. And then I relaxed. My relaxing is not going to ever win against Jesse Mendes because he is always looking to take, right? And so anytime that I'm relaxing,
Yeah.
and that was the second one, was I went to shoot and he, intensity spiked, slammed, went for the, kind of this move. And I went to, I'll just kind of finagle out of this. And then I just ended up on my back, and now I'm 10-1. And, I met the intensity in the second and third period. And if you watch, the match, you can kind of see that, like, I was able to kind of start neutralizing a lot of the stuff as well as getting to kind of my own stuff. And so, that's potentially a problem there. But, at the same time, I know the coaches at Ohio State are really, really good. And, I can't just expect to, if I wrestle harder, I'm going to do better. Right. There's things that we've worked on. I need to finish better. I need to get my own leg attacks and so on.
Sure. Since we got you here, since we're talking about Jesse, I know it's probably been beat to death, but Spladle heard around the world. Just like how, the reaction from like it went viral, and I went back last night. I don't really ever watch Barstool, but I watched this this podcast, and they went and talked about it for 20 minutes. So what was it like being in the middle of this, being on the receiving end, and seeing this thing go? And I think you went on there and had a good time with it. So I don't think it's like something that's eating you up to this day, but like, man, back then there was a lot of memes and a lot of stuff going around. Blow it off? Did it kind of sting? Or is it somewhere in the between?
Yeah, it was somewhere in between. You know, uh, I'm not gonna say that like it doesn't bug me when someone will like bring it up, right? Like in the way of not like you bring it up, but I'm saying like I'll have like a little kid at a camp say something, and that might hurt worse than anything. And then
Sure.
like I'll get a little bugged when like a really big wrestling page reposts it again, just just because they want clicks. It's a little frustrating,
Right.
but at the end of the day, like I wanted to react in a way that could help others see that like how things need to be reacted, right? Like it's okay to lose, and sometimes I mean everyone in wrestling's been spladled before, right? And no, I mean not everyone. I would say a lot of people have been spladled in wrestling, whether it was in the
Just
practice
not on
room,
ESPN.
just not on ESPN, right? And the camera didn't hold for 40 seconds. Um, but no, I think my reaction was is that I wanted people to see that not a singular moment is defining, right? I got spladled, but I still had a tournament to wrestle, and then you know I'm I'm so much more than just that singular moment, and so I wanted other people to see that, and so that's kind of how I wanted to react, and I wanted to how my actions were, and yeah, I mean it hurts to see people make a meme out of you, but also in a way it's kind of eye opening to make it think about all the other people that have been made memes. That it's like how unfortunate that that person reacted in a way and it was made into a moment to be made fun of, right? When like so many other things that happen for that person day to day to day.
Well, I even before this answer right here, I thought you handled it really well, and again, even more so with this answer you gave. Like, it's an opportunity for me to display to other people how to react in a shitty moment or when the world's coming at me, and you didn't throw a fit, you didn't cry, you didn't like it, but you somewhat leaned into it and accepted it. So I appreciate that about you.
Thank you, thank you. Like I said, I think that being wanting pity or wanting anything like that, like yeah, man, I got. It happens to the best of us, and it was a funny moment, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Hats off to you.